I tried to do a fun hairstyle for this video because I was like, oh, it's a video about millennials. I can do something different. Turns out I do not know how to do hair. Well, God gave me other gifts, like pissing off conservatives with just my existence. So, yeah, I'm taking this out. It's rare you see a show that has so much potential that Millennials has. If things go right for this show, I could see these songs becoming prime audition material. I could see further runs going ahead. And I can see really inventive staging in bigger theatres. There's things to fix, but as a first full workshop production goes, it'd be a miracle if there wasn't. I really want to preface this video with that, because I think that a lot of the time people get wrapped up in negatives, and of course I do have a lot of things to say, and not all of them are positive. But I think that's the key thing about Millennials, is that this, for a workshop production, has a lot going for it. And there's a lot going for it for its future. Millennials, written by Elliot Clay, is a song cycle musical with a theme of what it means to be a millennial. But even that's kind of a loose description. With a 6-person cast, we go from song to song without much pause in this 60-minute musical. So let's start with what I think are the positives, and then slowly work our way into the negatives. Let's start with the obvious thing, the set design. Holy Jesus. They were so correct when they said that their set was like an adult playground, because the second me and my friend walked in, we just wanted to play with everything. And after the show, I spent so long just messing around in the studio. There's bumper carts, blankets, ball pits, bathtubs, a lot of things beginning with beef, surprisingly. There's an avocado stage, portraits of Princess Diana. It's very much what you, from an outside perspective, would think a millennial is, and the kind of stereotypes that surround millennials. It's honestly just so much fun to walk around this space and to really take it all in and play around and find where you're going to perch for the next 60 minutes. I would honestly say give yourself enough time before the show to properly enjoy this, because I felt like even though I came and I went into the studio about 15 minutes before the show, I felt like I didn't have enough time to really enjoy everything and jump around. And if you want the ball pit, which you want the ball pit, get there as early as you can and push everyone away to get to that ball pit, because it is a fight and there is only one winner. At the end of the day, this is a competition and somebody's going to go into the ball pit. It really has to be commended how amazing this space is and how they've really transformed their studio space into this. The music absolutely slaps. It is Elliot Clay. Well done. Well done. I can 100% see like all of this music on my playlists. It's exactly the type of music and musical that has been really popular on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify over the past like 5 years or so. Songs like 21st Century Girl are so upbeat and fun, and I'm really glad that they, during the song, get us up to dance along, because honestly, I really, really wanted to. And then there's the comedy songs like Four Little Words, which I can easily see done like comedy cabarets. It has really hilarious and witty lyrics. And I think it's very perfect that they gave this song to Rob Madge, because I can 100% see that song as one of their sketches on TikTok. It honestly feels like it was written for them, or written by them. I think Elliot Clay has done a fantastic job with this score. However, I will say that I think his best material is towards the start. Like, my favourite songs are the first 3 songs in the show. The show's softer moments like Someday and Masterpiece are really moving and well performed by the cast. I really enjoy these moments. I feel like it's a second to kind of slow it down and bring the pace down a little bit, as I feel like sometimes the show's pace is a little bit like now, next, which honestly makes this 60-minute show feel even shorter. And here, I'll just give a quick shout out to the entire cast. I think the 6 actors within this show all give such warm and just amazing performances. I think my personal 2 standouts would be Hannah Lowther, who performs her number with such warmth and ease, and it's just such a beautifully touching performance. And of course, Rob Madge just being Rob Madge. It's non-binary finally, let's go. Now, let's get into my constructive feedback on the show. The staging, while fun, could have been a bit more expansive. Most of the action on the show takes place on the kind of avocado-shaped stage, which has a lot of fun elements to it, like the trampoline in the middle, which is the little seed, the pit. Is it called the pit of the avocado? I don't know. I don't think I've ever eaten avocado by itself. I like guacamole though. I'm Gen Z. Don't. While I think that stage is fun, with an area and a setting as fun and as expansive as this, with the bumper carts, the bathtubs, the everything that's around the staging, I wish they kind of played around with this a little bit more. Went into the ball pit with everyone, sang a song up in the rafters. There was so much more to get out of this staging, I feel, and I don't think it really hit its potential. I mean, essentially, this is immersive theatre, technically. I feel like they could have lent into that a bit more, make it feel really immersive. There are some really fun bits where they do lean into it, like getting everyone up dancing during 21st Century Goal, and the pre-show where the actors come around and talk to you, not even in character, just as themselves. But I think my main problem with the show, and I think this captures a lot of my criticism in one bit, is that I think it feels a little bit anticlimactic as it is at the moment. It is only about 45 minutes into the show where Luke Bayer comes up and goes, "It's the end," and he says that we've heard all their stories, and you're kind of just left there sitting, oh, is that it, really? We've heard everything already? I feel like because the show has such a fast pace, it really does itself a disservice, because it feels way too fast paced, and you're left wanting so much more. Let's be honest. Number one reason why it feels anticlimactic is because it is short. It is a very short musical. We are starting to see shorter and shorter musicals nowadays. We started with just having one-act musicals like Fun Home and Come From Away being about 100 minutes or so, and then we had that cut even shorter with something like Six and that kind of big popularity. But I think something like Six gets away with its short length because it still has a story behind it. There's dialogue in between, there's clear ups and downs, there's a certain pace to it. However, I think that's much harder to get in a song cycle musical. Because all of these stories are detached, because everything is its own separate being, it just kind of felt like one thing after another. An ending is one of the most important things to hit, and I feel like because this really didn't stick the ending, it kind of soured a lot of my positivity around it. Even though the show earned my love for it very quickly for its really good set and the music. I just think the show needs a couple more songs in there. Maybe another comedy song, maybe a couple more songs to bring down the tone later on, just to build it up a little bit more. Maybe make it 80 minutes instead of 60. I think that will just help with it and make it feel a little bit more impactful. But I think the main reason that it feels kind of anticlimactic is because I don't really know what the show was trying to say. Towards the end, they try and bring down the tone and give it some meaning, but I don't think this persisted long enough or had enough build-up for it to really hit as emotionally as I think the show wanted it to. Again, this could be very easily solved. Have the ending of the show bring down the tone slowly. I mean, you're trying to portray the mental health aspects of being a millennial and kind of how this can mentally affect you. And I think that kind of trauma could be talked about in a couple of different ways with a couple of different songs and a couple of different examples to properly bring down the tone and really have that emotional impact that I think the show kind of needs. I think if they want to have this kind of moral and have that kind of emotional send-off for the show, I think it needs some more time dedicated to it within the material. I think Millennials has everything it needs to grow. Because I think that's what the show needs. The show needs to grow. I'm really glad this production has been given such great space and clearly a quite decent budget to work with things and try and find out how to stage it and how it would feel in a theatre. I feel very similarly about this as I did But I'm a Cheerleader. That was another production that was getting its first full kind of workshop production, first off West End tryout. That's what this show is. It's a tryout. And I think there's a lot more they need to add. I think there's a lot more that they can build on. But what's there and what material they've already got and shown off is very strong. And if it's any indicator of what's to come with this show, There's so much potential. There's so much to love. And I cannot wait until they release their cast recording, which please do it as soon as possible. Even just some demos. I want a demo of 21st Century Girl. Please, I'm on my knees begging. At the moment, the show is 3 stars. That's what I say. The show is a 3-star production with a lot of potential to go far. The beginning is amazing. It's so well polished, you don't even need to touch it. It is boppy, it's fun, it's fresh. But I just think they need to work on the length, and they need to work on their message and make that clearer within the piece. At this point, I would highly recommend Millennials, and I am so excited to see what comes next. But have you seen Millennials? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below all of your thoughts. Are you excited to see the show? Have you seen the set photos? Because honestly, it's a lot of fun, and I would really recommend you going to see it. Do you know what else I'd recommend? Hitting that subscribe button and hitting like on this video. It really helps me out. Also, leave a comment. Just tell me I look pretty. Tell me I look pretty. Do it. That's all from me today. I'll see you soon, besties. Bye, everyone.